The real estate market in Saskatoon continues the trend of not needing to have inventory in order to have sales. Sales are up, listings are down, but the real question you want to know is, how much more am I paying for a house? My name's Ryan Gunther and I'm a local realtor here with Realty Executive Saskatoon. If you find any of this information in my video helpful and want to connect with me farther, I'll leave all my contact information in the description box below, or you can drop me a comment and I'd love to connect with you there. The real estate market in Saskatoon keeps defying the odds of being able to have more sales while having less available inventory for buyers to choose from than the same time last year. In this market video, we'll look at the activity last month in the detached, townhouse, and condos, as well as look at what's happening with pricing out there, and then finally, what price ranges are seeing the most pressure and activity, so that if you're a buyer thinking of getting into the market, you can prepare accordingly if you're going to be shopping within these price ranges. So there was 309 sales in the month of February in Saskatoon, while there was 253 sales in the month of February for 2023. So last month seen an increase of sale volume by 22%. And in order to have those sales, ultimately you do need listings, but they don't stick around because they sell so insanely quick. So there was 434 new listings that came into the market there in Saskatoon for February, while there was only 426 in February of 2023. So we had a 2% increase in listings for the month compared to last year, but we had a 22% increase in sales. There's a gap of 20% more sales than listings for the year. And because of all those sales this past February, compared to the last year at the exact same time, the sale price in Saskatoon in February was up about $10,000, $366,000 from $356,000 in February of last year. And that makes total sense why your sale price would be up that much when you have that much more sales activity with essentially the same amount of listings as the previous year. But the crazy thing about sale prices in Saskatoon is the fact that our year-to-date sale price in January and February, so that's just 2 months, is essentially the exact same as we closed out last year at. So the average sale price in Saskatoon's $375,000 or so. And we've been able to maintain that in the first 2 months of this year. And the reason that's kind of shocking is the fact that last year, in order to obtain that sales price at the end of the year, it would have had the spring market, the summer market, and the fall market were all averaged out to be the 375. And what is supposed to be a slower time, and technically buyers can get normally their best, deal on a house in that December, January, February, historically, we've been able to maintain the average sale price of all of last year in all the busy periods in the first 2 months of this year. And in previous market update videos, I've always said that about 30% or even 1/3 of houses go at or above the list price. Now, that's remained pretty consistent throughout all of last year, but it's something to note that in February, 36% of homes went either at the list price or above the list price. And while it's not a huge increase, it's just something to kind of keep our eyes on moving forward. If we kind of get away from that 30 to 33% and it gets into that 36 or maybe even 40% of homes going at or above their list price. And with all that sale activity, soaking up a lot of the listings that would have entered the market for the month, ultimately going into March, we have 709 active listings, whereas at the same time last year, we had 909. So we're down quite a considerable amount in listings, especially when you consider what's all selling. And of those 709 listings, unfortunately, only 543 of them are actually available, in the sense that the others are all conditionally sold. And out of those 548 active, 395 are detached single-family homes, with 146 being condo. And of those 146 condos, only 30 of them are townhouses. So if you're looking for a townhouse, you're really stretching thin for sure. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I always like to make note of the month supply, or absorption rate would be another term that you would see in probably some other industries. And that kind of shows you what kind of demand is being soaked up, in price ranges and particular types of properties. So for the detached side of things, throughout the entire city, every price range, there's a total 2-month supply. So if there was, 40 sales last month, there is 80 available this month, for instance. And then in condos, there's a total of a 1.3 month supply of available inventory. And that's, again, apartment style and townhouses. And after talking absorption rates of, the whole city as a whole, when it comes to every price range, it's kind of nice to know what price ranges last month are seeing, the highest demand. So in terms of what price ranges are seeing the most pressure, if you're a buyer, shopping within those ranges, it's always nice to know kind of what you're up against. So on the detached side of things, $250,000 to $300,000, and then $300,000 to $350,000 definitely saw the most activity relative to the inventory counts here last month. So in the $250,000 to $300,000, at the start of March, there was 22 active listings. And in the month of February, there was 23 sales. So the sales in last month actually outpaced the active listing count to start this month off, with a 0.96 month supply. So it's always deemed that anything under 3 months supply is not enough inventory for the demand, which is why the theme of, low inventory counts throughout Saskatoon have been, what's all around. Because we haven't been anywhere near the 3 month supply for a while in majority of the price ranges. But to see it actually be under a 1 month supply or absorption rate is pretty wild. And then in the 300 to 350 range on the detached side, unfortunately it gets even worse, with 18 active listings to kick off the month of March, with 21 sales in February, making that a 0.86 month supply. So if you're shopping anywhere from $250 to $350 for a detached home here in Saskatoon, you can expect competing offers, potentially presentation of offers in a lot of cases, and a real battle to secure a property in that price range with a $100,000 gap. And for the condos, which that would include townhouses as well, $350,000 to $400,000 seen the most activity and competition relative to actives at the start of this month compared to sales of last month. So to start the month of March out, there was 11 active listings, and in the month of February, there was 15 sales, which it makes a month supply of 0.73. Again, just mind-bogglingly low. And if you remember earlier on in my video, I mentioned how there was only 30 townhouses for sale in Saskatoon. Now, not every single property would have been a townhouse in here. There could have been some, nicer, higher-end condos, but primarily this would have been townhouse territory. So that just echoes the statement of only having, 30 active townhouses, and then seeing kind of what's happening with the month supply and the absorption rates around that price range that would be filled with those townhouses. And while 0.73 month supply is really bad, any condo, whether it be an apartment style condo or a townhouse, from 200,000 all the way to 350,000, all has a month supply of under 2. So again, way down on inventory for the demand of that property. And I can attest to that personally in terms of being in a few townhouses in the last couple of weeks. And one place, we were basically having to write an offer in the kitchen because there was an offer on the property that expired in 45 minutes. And we had to make a decision right then and there. So in conclusion to all of it, basically, traditionally winter pricing is usually a little bit lower than other parts of the year. Right? Like a buyer can typically get their best deal in that, December, January, February. And what the first 2 months of 2024 have shown us is our year-to-date sale price can be replicated in the winter when it would have had spring, summer, fall all mixed in there for last year to drive that price up. So as the interest rates more than likely continue to come down in some regard, those prices of homes coming into the busier time of the year are going to continue to rise. So if you found any of this information helpful and want to connect with me farther, maybe want to talk, stats in particular neighborhoods or other price ranges that you're shopping in, feel free to connect with me. All my information will be in the description box below, or drop me a comment and I'll chat with you there. Look forward to talking with you soon.